Welcome into Super Dope Plus Ultra. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. With me today is
Beds
and
Kelly.
Thank you guys. Quarantine edition. We're kind of getting the hang of this. This is the first time we've done a social distancing episode where there's three of us who are communicating remotely.
Nice.
I'm not settling for no Zoom audio conference because
we don't want dicks on our screens.
Yeah, that's part of it. I don't want to get dick bombed. I don't want to get bombed with like Nazi propaganda stuff, like Hitler speeches, because that's been happening.
What?
God.
We use Zoom for work all the time. What are you talking about?
So the problem with Zoom is, especially with so many people using it all of a sudden, a lot of people just keep their meetings as a public, like open meeting that pretty much anybody can join if they find it. So people unknowingly set up their work meetings or meetings with their friends or whatever, and people will just, not accidentally, purposely seek out these meetings, join them, and have some porno sounds play in the background or a Hitler speech or, real family fun stuff like that.
Oh my God, just trying to catch up with grandma.
But even more than the dick bombing, I hope that catches on. Even more than the dick bombing, I heard that in terms of like your employer being able to see what you do on your computer while you're in a Zoom. So like say you're on a video conference and it takes up half of your screen and the other half you're like browsing an internet browser or you're working on a spreadsheet or whatever. Your activity is reported to Zoom and then they send it to your employer, or your employer has the option to check it out afterwards. And I know most bosses I've had in the past would 150 fucking percent look at that activity at the conclusion of a meeting to see who was fucking around and who wasn't. So tread lightly with Zoom. That's the moral of the story. All right. We're using Skype today. That was a long way to say that. We're talking the season finale, season 4 of My Hero Academia, episode 88. Simply called His Start. And what a start it was.
That's for sure.
I really liked this episode. I thought it was really good.
Me too.
Very satisfying wrap to the season.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I liked how the Gentle Criminal arc wrapped up. I liked how it was paced. I thought it got just enough time. I thought it got the time it needed. I feel like they could have given more time to the overhaul arc. I wish they would have. But
me too.
All those things considered, the pacing has been sort of an issue for me, and I was a little worried about starting a fight at the end of the season that seems like it's going to be a really important fight. And I'm like, oh boy, how is this only going to be, a half episode, 1.5, 2 episode incident? Like, kind of want this to be a little bit longer, but normally is what I would say. But I think they nailed it with this 2 episode, 2-parter for all intents and purposes. I know that everybody I've talked with on this show pretty much across the board hates Endeavor. Do you guys feel any differently about him after the last couple of episodes? Feds, you can start.
I've always been kind of like indifferent about Endeavor. Like, yeah, he was an asshole to his kids and shit like that, but at the end of the day, he still wants the same thing as every other hero wants, is peace and everything like that. But over the last 2 episodes, his arc has been really good. Like, he's trying to get into the good graces of everybody. Like, you even saw in the last episode with him trying to be nice to that little kid, even though the little kid was like, "You're supposed to be an asshole. Why? Why'd you do that?
You softened up. What are you doing?"
Right. But yeah, over the last 2 episodes, I've kind of come around on Endeavor. Like, not only is he like wicked powerful and stuff like that, but he's actually trying to not be an asshole anymore, which is pretty cool.
Trying to step up in the moment to become, so much of what Endeavor's talked about over the last 2 episodes, or what they've alluded to, has been, we have no symbol, and what does that symbol look like, and how does Endeavor take on the shape of a symbol of peace within his own ability and his own virtues and his own attitude or whatever, because obviously he's not going to be smiling through everything like All Might was. It's just a given. Kelly, you have different feelings on Endeavor now, or...
I wouldn't say I have different feelings on Endeavor. I never disliked him, because I feel like he was a very realistic character. I feel like heroes are oftentimes portrayed in shows as being like really great all around. And I liked that he was like a kind of shitty dad and like an abusive husband. And those things are real aspects that people have.
Yeah. Fleshes out the character a little bit more, makes him three-dimensional.
Right. So I never like hated him. I do like that he's trying to be better. And I think it kind of stems from Shoto really just being a great hero and being like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah.
And maybe now that he really is the number one hero, he like realizes he has to be like a better person all around. I don't know. I liked this episode and I liked his character growth, but I never disliked him, so I wouldn't say that I like him more now.
So coming out of last week's episode, they do have the opportunity here to just go 100% action based for Endeavor and just have his first like major statement to the public in fighting this all new high end Nomu. Is that what they call it? They could have gone 100% action and just have him dole out a crazy ass whipping and have it be this big brutal event like it was. And it would have been okay, but they do take the opportunity for him to not only have it be a statement of his number one status to the public, but an opportunity for him to an opportunity for him to burn away his past person, both metaphorically and literally. I mean, not literally in a person, but in a Nomu at the end of the episode. But the way they tie in his wife in the hospital and his kids, it's done really well. Given the action cliffhanger that they give you at the end of 87, I didn't expect to start the cold open of this episode in the hospital with the wife who's seemingly doing much better and the two older Todoroki kids, Natsu and Fuyumi, is that her name?
I think so.
I didn't expect to see those two, and just like that scene in general, start this episode off. It could have just thrown us in the action and that'd have been fine, but I'm glad they broke it out for us and gave us the opportunity to kind of see Endeavor from a different perspective. Because like his kids sound like the majority of the Boku no Hero Academia fan base, in that they just shit all over him. Natsu's like, I'm not going to forget what happened. It was approximately 10 years ago at this point. They show a flashback of a little abused Shoto. Talk about a heartbreaker on that. You guys did point out something interesting in the pre-show when we get together and kind of talk the show through for the Patreon audience, patreon.com/Dragon Ball Super Dope. You guys pointed this out. You saw something. It's a popular fan theory. I don't know who wants to take the lead on it. Kelly, I think you pointed it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I did. It doesn't really matter, but in the flashback, they were talking about how Endeavor was basically a stranger to them. And it flashes back to 3 Todoroki children. And one of them we have not seen. And it's a fully redhead boy. Seems like younger than the other 2 that were at the hospital. It's not Shoto. It's like a third son. And there's a theory online that's possibly, it's Dabi, right? That's how you say it, Dabi?
Yeah.
That it's possibly Dabi, the villain.
I hope it's
So that's
Dabi.
not ever confirmed or anything, but it's a theory online.
If it was Dabby, that'd be the worst
Dabby?
effing name in the world.
Yeah.
Totally Dabby. But good catch, because in watching that scene, I mean, I guess I saw a kid with some red hair, but I guess I didn't notice that there wasn't the other half of his head was, with white hair. So I didn't catch that, but good call. I want to go check it out again. There's a few things that I kind of want to check out in terms of past episodes that this episode has kind of made me go, about. Some of the early Shoto Todoroki stuff, I'd like to go back and rewatch some flashbacks. Whatever. Point here is they give us those flashbacks of poor little abused Shoto, and we're sad for him, but also we're angry at Endeavor again. And we kind of understand where Natsu's coming from. Fuyumi, the girl, I think she may be the eldest of the siblings. That's kind of what I gathered, right?
I think she is.
Yeah, I think she is too.
She seems to be the more calm, cool, and collected of the 2 of them. And the mother seems to be doing much better. And as Natsu's freaking out about Endeavor, when she doesn't react to it, Natsu's like, yo, what the fuck? You should be as upset as I am. And she says that Endeavor tries to visit her at the hospital pretty regularly. And he brings her these flowers that he mentioned, or she mentioned to him one time when they first like met, some type of flower that she really liked. And every time he tries to visit her, he brings her these flowers, but she never chooses to see him. The doctors don't think it's a good idea that they see each other, but he still continues to visit and he brings those flowers every time. So I guess in a way, even though she's still not to the point where she's comfortable in seeing him, that's sort of like her way to start the forgiveness process for him, is acknowledging that, you know, he's at least trying to come make things right with me. He's adamant that he's going to at one point be able to get to see me and speak with me. He's been doing it, you know, periodically over the course of the last 10 years. That kind of made me feel different about Endeavor. As much of a dickhead as he was, and like his whole approach to trying to craft the superhero or the perfect superhero, and we'll get to that more in a little bit, but as like flawed and as fucked up as he is in those perspectives, I think he's aware that he's flawed and fucked up in those perspectives. And he's going out of his way to I don't know if atone's even possibility, but at least own up to it. Anybody got anything after that, or
No.
So they do a nice job at like seeding it for us to I don't know, I guess you could kind of go one way or the other. Like I said, I kind of just hated Endeavor because of the beginning of this episode. And you could go into that Nomu fight being like, yeah, get your ass whooped, Endeavor. I don't even care. But I went in with the opposite perspective. I was like, yeah, Endeavor, whoop some ass. I do care.
Same.
Polar opposite.
Yeah, I was like, have your moment, Endeavor.
Does the Nomu voice freak either of you out as much as it freaks me out, Kelly?
I don't like that it talked. I thought that was really weird. Its teeth, you know when it does that smile and it has all those weird piano teeth?
It's freaky.
I did not
It's like Scarecrow from Batman and shit.
Yeah, I thought it looked like the teeth of a zipper or something, but like very far apart. Very unsettling. And like the way like that, like it's a really deep voice, but it's got that weird effect on it, but it also stutters throughout. It's so fucking unsettling.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a nightmare about that Nomu tonight. Quarantine's got me having all sorts of fucked up nightmares. It's the worst. Y'all having any fun nightmares?
I'm not having any quarantine nightmares, bro.
Oh, that's right, because you're still out and about every goddamn day. You essential.
Yeah, I'm essential. Yeah, unfortunately.
I almost just gave you
Me too. I'm essential.
I almost just gave you both Nelson has, but then I was like, oh no.
Hey man, I save lives. All right.
I'm just saying, it's scary out there, bro.
What do you do, actually? I don't even know what you do.
I'm an IV technician. I make IV bags for sick patients who get home care.
Oh, shit.
See?
Wow.
That shit's essential.
That is essential.
I don't fucking...
I work at a law office. But, the
law's essential. It's all we got holding us together. Except, you know, unless you're the fucking president. Anyway, did you guys know that Endeavor can't fly?
No. Because,
he's
like...
just not falling, he said, right?
Yeah. So he's like floating? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's the same kind of idea of like the repulsor technology in Tony Stark's boots or something. Like,
yeah,
okay. I guess
that
that kind of has like the ability to like fully make him. Well, maybe it's a bad example. I don't know. All right, not in the boots then, just in the gloves. Just that kind of repulsor power to keep him propelled in the air. Like I said, the voice that new Nomu has is scary. And like the second I started hearing him talk, I was like, yo, Endeavor, stop fucking around. Fuck this thing up. He does do a good job not fucking around. All right. And he does think it's going to be an opportunity for him to make a statement. And maybe it's going to be similar to like the Camino incident with that Nomu. And he fucked that one up pretty good. So he kind of just busts out the flash fire fist.
Hell spider.
Oh my god. Hell spider. What?
Flash fire fist, hell spider. And he uses it twice, but the second time he uses it, he like brings down a building with him, right?
Yeah, it looked like he like floated around the building like a little disc puck thing. I don't know. It looked weird.
It did look
And he like
very
cut the
strange.
building in half.
I gotta
He cut
say,
the
the
building in
second
half.
time he uses that move, the Hell Spider move, it really confused me because I was like, yo, that's a considerable amount of damage to that building. And like Hawks' feathers like start catching huge blocks that might fall and hit people, and that's when he lands on the roof. And you learn that his feathers can be destroyed, I guess, and not come back. Like,
Yeah.
does that mean there's like a limit on how much Hawks can be a hero? Like, does he just always get his feathers back?
I think they regenerate, but it probably takes them a long time to regenerate.
Yeah. So
You know
he's
what I mean?
probably like part bird.
Yeah.
You know, Hawk's power was pretty cool because he sat there and like sensed all the people's like vibrations and their breathing and sent a feather out to each one of them. That was,
So like,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Does he sense it, or does he command his feathers to sense it?
It seemed more like he was commanding his feathers.
Yeah, because he was like,
anyways.
feel all the vibrations.
Yeah, the way they talk
the rustling
about
of clothes and all that good stuff.
yeah, fierce wings, tough, supple feathers, that he can control. Yeah, that's kind of just that's what they give us at the most. The idea of him. Did you guys see the point where he turned one of his feathers into like a really big sword?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna like chop the Nomu's head off with it or something.
So they're tough but supple. But if you can control it to turn it into a sword, does that make it like sharp like a sword, or is it just like a sword-shaped feather?
I think it's just a sword-shaped feather, but like
Same.
these feathers are apparently strong enough to lift full-grown human beings too. So I don't know. Like,
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, man. I can just see a scenario in which he's like, Endeavor, don't worry, I got you back. And he just like runs up and tries to tickle the Nomu with his feather sword. Don't worry.
Gucci Gucci Goo.
Yeah, rest for a second. I'm going to tickle the piss out of this boy. Oh, man. All right. So now that we've talked a weird amount about Hawks' feathers, one thing that the Nomu did that I didn't really get a full beat on, and I don't know if even the heroes did, obviously it's kind of revealed through the first few parts of the fight that this Nomu can learn and can adapt, and he's like starting to strategize throughout the course of the fight and how, because like a couple of other heroes show up to kind of help with like, I don't know, damage control kind of stuff. I don't know who those heroes were, but
me either.
Doesn't matter. At the point where they show up and they start having an impact and trying to help Endeavor fight the Nomu, he splits off a bunch of other Nomu. And basically the question is, Endeavor poses, I guess, internally, did he store additional Nomu within himself, or is it like a split form quirk like Tien Shinhan in Dragon Ball, where he makes like 4 different copies of himself, and each has got like a quarter? I don't think that would be the quarter of the power thing. Otherwise, Endeavor would have blasted the piss out of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so maybe not that piece of it, but is he storing? Is he like a Nomu vessel?
That's what it seemed like, in my opinion, because they seemed like the weaker type of Nomu, right? They were the white ones that Endeavor could burn easily.
And they didn't speak, and
yeah.
I don't know if we saw any of them in like a bunch of action to the point where we got specifics on their quirks, but
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe these new high-end Nomus are like Star Destroyers of Nomus.
Maybe.
In that they hold smaller Nomus or less powerful Nomus. Maybe Star Destroyer is the wrong euphemism. I'm done. All right. Anyways, what you got, Feds?
It seemed like it was like a lesser powerful version of Twice's quirk, not necessarily in the form of they disappear after they take too much damage, because it looks like they were just like continually getting their asses whipped no matter what. But that's what it seems like to me. It's like they borrowed Twice's quirk to kind of like help the Nomu out with being able to split off into different things like that. Maybe.
I don't know. I still like the idea of like this high-end Nomu can like bring 5 lower-end Nomus with him to go fuck up a city if he wanted. and
Yeah.
just like completely ambush. I mean, because that's really all you need to go fuck up a city, right? Is 5 Nomus.
Yeah,
in one of these.
nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays these cities can't stand shit in terms of Nomu destruction. Got to build with more concrete. Concrete's good for the environment. Anyway, so when they split off from the main Nomu, the high end Nomu, that's when Endeavor has like his little kind of a flashback, I guess. I don't know if it's even that.
I would say more an inner monologue kind of thing.
Way better way to say it. Because at this point he starts to overheat and he's aware of it. And he's like, oh no, I can't look bad. And he has a flashback to the speech he made, or I guess earlier in the day, right? About just watch me. And oh boy, I watched him with both of my eyes.
When he said that last week, I literally wanted to run through the wall. I was like so pumped up. I don't know why. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to run through a wall.
That screenshot is I don't typically use like podcast art, but every once in a while, if I really like something for an episode, I'll use it as podcast art, and that's exactly what I used was
Nice.
that just watch me close up on his face. So he has that little flashback, and he says that was the reason, and then he says that was the reason, and there's a flashback of like his kids, and then he says that was the reason, and there's just a flashback of now teenage Shoto, using his fire and ice quirk, and it's like, oh, that was the reason, because that's the reason you wanted to have a kid with an ice quirk, so that way you wouldn't overheat. I get it. But then I was like, no, that was the reason that you're like, just watch me because I'm the number one hero. I believe that I have to put on an example for my son so that he can carry on in my footsteps of being the number one hero. Can't let him feel like it's cheaply earned to follow his dad into the number one hero status. I have to go beyond plus ultra, even though I hate that school motto. I don't know. It's like such a quick little touch, I guess. It's like really a nothing little mention, but without it there, that moment feels so much less impactful. So he goes to hit him with another prominence burn, and the Nomu rips his head off.
Right?
And fucking chucks it. Like this
Chucks
Nomu.
it like a volleyball.
This Nomu has got some ingenuity. It's got some tactics. I guess if I could rip my head off my body and throw it at somebody else in a fight, I'd probably
And then regenerate the rest of my body.
Yeah, I'd probably do it all the time. Like in Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, if I play Liu Kang, it's pretty much a guarantee that I'm starting off each fight with a bicycle kick. Because you just hold A for like 4 seconds and then you know?
Yep.
It'd be the same thing if I could rip my head off. I would just rip my head off, throw it at somebody, regenerate my body right away. First move, every fight. Every time. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but my mind's made up. Whatever. The head comes back at him, and I don't really know what the move was. It just like looks like a bunch of whips or tentacles or something that the Nomu hits him with.
I think it's his arms. He like grows multiple arms.
Jesus. This Nomu really can do it all.
For real.
I hate it.
Yeah, it was
Did
gross.
the Nomu like take out his eye? Like is his eye gone now? Like they look gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't tell. It looked empty. Yeah, it was quite gross.
All right. So I'm so happy that you said that, Feds. Because I took a nap yesterday. And when I woke up, I had a text from Kelly that said, wow, that episode was amazing. And I was like, oh, shit. I forgot to watch the episode. And I was like, oh, no, I better not watch.
Okay, don't reply. It's
I better
fine.
not watch Twitter. I better not watch Twitter. I better not check out Twitter because I don't want to ruin anything. So I, within an hour, sat down and watched it. And I don't know if I was just like still waking up from my nap or what, dude. But like the first time I watched it, the whole eye getting ripped out did not register at all. I was like, ooh, damn, that's a lot of blood for sure.
Yeah.
But when I watched it again before we started talking today, I was like, oh my God, that motherfucker just lost an eye. Just watch this. Motherfucker losing an eye. You guys were both a little unclear.
I wasn't. I mean, it looked gone, but like it could just be like a really bad black eye, maybe. I don't know.
And head wounds bleed a lot, so he could just have his eye closed the whole time because it's bleeding so much. I don't know.
True.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if it was really gone.
Why do you know so much about head wounds and how much they bleed?
Because I watch a lot of murder stuff.
All right.
I'm being so honest.
That's about as good an answer as I could have expected from you.
Yeah. Murder documentaries like every day.
So it's right around this time where helicopters and television crews start showing up to broadcast the fight, and obviously they show up in the nick of time to get the footage of, we think, at least his eye getting ripped out, taken out, whatever it is. Of course, they have it on at the dorm. Shoto Todoroki is partaking in some television time with his classmates. And the local news breaks in just in time to show him some live footage of his dad getting borderline murdered by some insane mutant. Just another day as a student in class 1A. I do like that Aizawa runs in and like checks on him. That's cute.
Yeah, being a teacher.
No, not just being a teacher. Fuck that. It's like his dad. It's a school dad.
Yeah.
Aizawa's their school dad. And now he's Erie's dad.
I agree with that. No, he's definitely Erie's dad now.
So cute.
From the school festival episode the other day, I found a GIF in one of the fan groups of Erie like retelling Deku about how she feels about the performance and like all the motions her arms do, and Mirio mirroring them right behind her.
Yep.
Save that GIF immediately. Oh man. Not even to send any. I mean, I sent it to Kelly real quick, but like,
it was cute.
I just watch it on a loop sometimes, and I'm feeling a little blue the last day or two. It's so adorable. All right, so yeah, news crews show up just in time to give some PTSD to a young high school student named Shoto Todoroki, and watching his dad get mutilated live on television. At the same time, Natsu and Fuyumi, are they like in a limo driving away from the hospital?
In a taxi.
Yeah, it looks like a taxi.
What? All right. I don't know. It looked a little roomy to me, I guess. I don't know if taxis are different in Japan, but
maybe it was an Uber. Maybe it was an SUV Uber.
I was going to say, I think it's like a Lyft car. Someone was just like, I'll give you a lift.
Maybe. I don't know why I got impressions of great wealth in watching how they choose to commute to and from the hospital. But
they might have a driver. You know what I mean? They definitely are wealthy.
True.
Yeah, because their dad's the number one hero, and presumably he must make ridiculous money. Because approval rating is.
So,
I mean, even as the number 2 hero, he was probably still making pretty good money.
Yeah, because basically you make money based off of how much crime you solve and all that stuff. Crime you solve.
Uraraka, her whole goal for being a hero was to make money for her family. So when you're a hero, make money.
It's kind of sad, huh?
Yeah,
let's not talk about.
But it's her motivation.
What?
What motivates her, man?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like to say that money is what motivates Uraraka. It's her, the love of her family.
No, her family. Yeah, her love for her family is what motivates her. Obviously,
she ain't no gold digger.
Nah.
I mean, unless
she's not looking for a number 1 hero boyfriend. She's trying to do it herself.
Are you saying that she's not going to end up with Deku?
I mean, I don't think so, no.
I don't know about that.
That's not my ship, but that's personal, so.
It just seems too obvious, you know? It seems too obvious to not do it.
No, I don't like them together.
What? Who's Deku going to ship up in your brain, Kelly?
None of your business.
Whoa, all right.
Wow.
Didn't think it was that personal.
Right.
Feds, what you got?
Oh, Deku and Uraraka are going to be together, man.
No way.
Wow, Kelly. All right. What are you, like a dark horse Mei Hatsume kind of girl?
You don't think Hatsume is like totally...
Oh my God, did I nail it right off the bat?
Well, no. She's like my second choice. But...
All right, so you give us the second choice. You may as well give us the first one, right?
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
If you say Froppy, so help me God.
It is, isn't it?
Oh my God.
You don't think he's like totally... I think that they're so cute. And they work together so well when they like were in their fight and stuff.
And they both wear green and have green hair.
purpose.
And they'd have like green kids.
Little,
Frog All Mights.
Frog kids, yeah.
Oh,
Frog All Mights.
Frog Mights.
Frogs.
Oh, Frog Mights. Anyway, this ride home.
I don't know. I think they have better. I don't know. I don't like Uraraka and him together. They push it too hard, I think.
The girl literally throws up rainbows. Ugh, all right, whatever. This limo ride home, these rich boy and girl, Endeavor's kids. In my mind, it's not a taxi anymore. It's a limo.
Okay.
They're made aware of the situation. And Natsu's thing is, at least, he's saying out loud, you can't be All Might. Run away. Get out of there. You know that you can't stand up to this right now. You're not going to be able to overcome it like All Might is. And the sister for Yumi says, yo, our dad's like the most stubborn piece of shit like in the world. Have you met our dad? I know it's been like 10 years since you wanted to talk to him and all, but he's the worst. He's so stubborn. And I don't know, I guess, again, something that to this point we've found pretty reprehensible about him. They've kind of put it through the lens of, this is how that annoying trait of his stubbornness can be viewed in a positive light of, even though there's a good chance he could die in the midst of this battle, he's still going to prominence burn the hell out some Nomu ass. It's right around this point, the crowd present for the fight, they all just watched Endeavor's eye get ripped out, we think, anyway. And they all start freaking out because there's no symbol of peace. There's no All Might showing up to save the day. Unrest, panic. It's not a very good time.
Yeah, even the reporter was like, this is what it's like to have no symbol.
I like that the reporter, it's got to be the same reporter. I mean, I don't know, but the reporter's got to be the same one who covered the fight in Camino, right?
I'm assuming.
But like she mentions like, oh no, I'm getting the same kind of vibes. Like she's got some PTSD from that.
Mm-hmm.
What I do love that they brought back around for this two-parter is that kid from the first episode that Endeavor tried to impress, who ends up being a huge Endeavor fanboy that we mentioned earlier.
Yep.
He's the kid who's like, fuck all you guys. You see that?
Yeah.
You see that fire out there in the distance? That means he's still fighting. I don't know what are you guys so upset about. It was a really heartwarming moment. Even in that moment, he's still kind of an annoying little asshole kid that I'd wish got hit by a car. But I'm like,
that's
was that too much?
I feel like quarantine is changing Kyle a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah, it's making me so upset.
I'm more bitter.
You ain't seen nothing yet, dude. This is me in a good mood. You should have talked to me on fucking Thursday or Friday.
This
Thursday.
is after he found that little airy gift. Imagine what he was like before he found that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Can't even imagine.
In all seriousness, dude, you guys should have. If you want to hear what I did on Thursday, patreon.com/Dragon Ball Super Tip. So at this point, Endeavor tries to, I don't know, I guess the idea is to like try to get the Nomu as far away from the city and the crowd as he can, and he tries to propel it like a distance. And that's when he has the whole let the heat propel my body thing, and he has that really badass line that he can take the heat right now because his body's in so much shock from all the pain that he just experienced, again, from losing his fucking eye. That line made a lot more sense to me watching it the second time. I was like, oh, your body's in pain from what? All of the heat? From getting that slash across your face that I didn't realize probably took your eye? But that line of he's basically impervious to the heat for this point because he's going to have to get an eye patch. God, I hope he gets an eye patch. But how does he wear an eye patch? He's going to burn it up right away.
Yeah, his fire eyebrows are going to burn it off, dude.
He's going to have to ask Mei Hatsume to like make some kind of fire retardant
Wow.
eye patch. God, I can't wait to get out of my house.
Maybe he can employ the help of a washing machine hero to make it wet constantly.
Even
Oh, Kelly is not a fan of the washing machine hero.
Oh, I know. I listened.
Kelly, how's the song go?
Washa, washa, washa. Washa, washa. Is that what you're talking about?
That's
Oh.
exactly
I actually
what I'm
did a
talking
little bit of research on him. He's actually pretty powerful.
about. Is it a him
No,
or is
you
it a
can't
her?
do no.
Whatever
all
it
you
is.
can't do research on a fictional washing machine that only shows up one time ever. What do you mean?
It's in the manga.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, answer me this: is the washing machine a person who had
Yes.
It is.
No,
So there was,
it's just
like, a mom
no, it's
washing
just a washing machine with googly eyes and arms and legs. That's all it is.
It was like a washing machine that was experimented on, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
I'm gonna
I
say there's
digress.
no way that there was like a little baby washing machine, grew up, teenager washing machine, hero washing machine. I fucking hate that washing machine.
what did the washing machine ever do to you?
Washa, 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 washa. I just hated it. I honestly had to pause the show because when I watched it the first time, that episode, I was like, what? You said so. All right, so this washing machine's pretty powerful. So what are some of its stats? I want to know.
Well, the quirk, it's quirk. Apparently, it can shoot
quirk?
It's
It's a washing
got a
machine
quirk.
with a quirk?
Yeah, it's a hero. Duh. Anyway, it can shoot a
Duh.
spiral of water out of its washing machine top that apparently can lift multiple enemies into the air at once. So it can neutralize enemies with its water quirk. It's an unnamed quirk because they haven't come up with a name for it yet, but that is it.
Feel like I've learned something important about the washing machine hero here, and it's that. I mean, not only does it have a quirk and it was a human and all that fun stuff, but Kelly really fucking hates that hero.
Yeah, she's visibly upset right now.
I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just a really powerful washing machine. It can throw people in the air. It's totally fine. I'm fine. What are you talking about? I'm not upset. Totally fine.
Washa, 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 washa. All right, so washa, washa, washa this. Endeavor is going to try to burn this Nomu from the mouth out.
Yeah.
He like tries to
that's what
grab it
seemed
inside the
like.
mouth because basically he rips the head off. He's like, hey, if you lose your head, that's bad news bears for you. So I'm going to grab the inside of your mouth and burn you from the inside out. And it doesn't work.
What it looked like to me is like when he threw that punch that the gnome went in his mouth to like try to like bite his hand off or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said that thing about a wild animal. That's what made me think he
Yeah,
bit
he's
him.
like, you're acting like a wild animal now. Like trying to bite me and shit.
Hey, man, wild animals talk all the time. And Disney movies
Yeah.
and shit.
Washing machines can talk. So
I was thinking more
washing machines can be
specifically
heroes.
like Baloo in the Jungle Book, but yeah, I guess washing machines could be counted as a wild animal in some places, like the garbage
Where?
lands.
Sure.
The garbage lands. Oh my god, I gotta get out of my house, dude. Anyway, that doesn't work out. Can't burn it from the mouth
You
out.
know you can walk outside during this, right? It's not
Sure.
airborne.
Shut the fuck up, Feds. Don't tell me what I can and can't do.
I went for a
letting you
nice
know.
walk today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It was nice. I said I went for a nice walk. It was nice. What do you mean how'd it go? It's not like I just walked. It's great.
You could have
Saw
just
some
stopped it
birds.
with "it was nice." That was all. It would have
Yeah.
been perfect, but you added
Nice.
on. That was good. So once burning it from the inside mouth out doesn't work out. God, that was a tricky sentence. I kind of want to do it again, but I won't. Once that doesn't work out, his idea is to get even further away, and by that he means straight up into that, I don't know, as high up as he can go into the atmosphere, so that way he can fully release all of his hellfire power and completely eviscerate this thing. So Hawks uses what he has left, a few of his feathers to help push him all the way up there. He has this nice little, I don't think he says it out loud anyway. If he did, he'd sound like a crazy person, where he's like, you're me from a past life, but you're also me from the future, and fuck me from both of those time periods. Also, fuck you, AI, and their stupid school motto. It's really dumb, but I'm about to use it. Plus ultra, predominance, burn. And I was like, Damn. Way to go, Endeavor. And then he comes down and he has his little cool symbol of peace, all might moment where even though I'm pretty sure, again, that he just lost an eye and almost overheated and died, he gets to raise his fist up to the public and say, just watch me.
Yeah.
Is that like his I am here? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that he said it, but
yeah.
But he thought it. It was a
He
flashback.
definitely. I think he was thinking, "I'm here," or "It's my time."
Yeah. Yeah, it's my time might be like Jeremiah said.
It's my time.
Remember that song? Remember 2010?
Yeah.
It's a good time. So all right, Endeavor firmly solidified as the number one hero. Now he just had this big show-stopping moment. People have seen him operate in a moment of crisis and save the day. Doesn't look like there was any major casualties, but again, I'm pretty sure he tore down like a big old building in the midst of it.
Yeah.
Well, it was already really severely damaged, right? From the Nomu.
Yeah, that
He'd
Nomu
already
does
busted through it.
That Nomu does kind of fuck that
just
building
started
up.
sliding down. It was weird.
Well, all in all, Endeavor. So you have a nice initial timeout for your hero. I don't know, obviously not debut, but your first big crisis to manage after All Might, is effectively retired. So cool. I thought it was a nice little button up to this two-parter season wrap-up of season 4.
Yeah.
Anything else before we move on to the preview?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
I also have something to say.
Kelly, go for it.
Well, I just feel like
because I got a question for both of you.
Oh, okay. So for me, I wanted to talk about, because I feel like we glazed over it, but Hawks and Endeavor had some pretty cool teamwork, in my opinion.
Did they, though?
And I think so. I think Hawks was a decent supporter of him in a way. He got all the people out of the way.
Right word, support.
Yep, you got all the people
He was a good supportive character. And then I liked this thing that Hawks said, because I kind of feel bad now that I shit all over him in the last episode. Because I still think he's a shady motherfucker. But I liked that he said that his back isn't enough to make the people feel protected. I liked that line he said. He was like, my back is not enough. And I think it shows that, he really does want Endeavor to be a great hero. And we get that flashback of him being like a fan from when he was a kid, which I really liked. So I think this episode for me made me feel better about Hawks in general.
Feds?
Question to both of you is, as Todoroki is watching his father get his ass handed to him by this Nomu on television, he's obviously visibly upset that his father's being taken out. Do you guys think that Todoroki from 2 or 3 years ago would even give a shit?
Nope.
I
don't think Todoroki from 6 months ago would have given a shit.
Yeah.
Oh, they show him
before they kind of made up, kind of.
Yeah, they have that little clip of him saying like, I want to be a hero that you're proud of.
Right.
And he's saying like, I'm watching.
I'm saying Yeah.
I think that that past Todoroki would not have cared very much.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think too.
He'd have been like,
wanted to hear you guys' opinion on that.
He'd have been like, man, this breaking news report is inconveniencing my program scheduling. And they'd be like, dude, that's your dad.
Like, can I change the channel?
Dude, your dad just got his eye ripped out. And he'd be like, yeah, but it's 11:30.
I'm training, so fuck off.
The Price is Right is on.
They're going to have matching scars.
Price is Right is on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. They're going to have matching scars for their eyes.
They're going to have matching scars on their eye.
Yeah, their left eyes. That's maybe another symbolism. What's the symbology? Symbology. Yeah. That's it. What's the symbiology? Symbology. That's another example of like him, properly paying penance for being a shitty person in the past. Is the eye.
Eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. I mean, it's not to say that he did it. But he drove his wife to do something crazy like that, to her own child. But yeah, exactly. Eye for an eye. And just another example of him, I guess, trying to pay his penance to his family in the past and trying to move on and become a better person that society needs. And he needs to be for himself because, man, him living with this, living in the shadow of All Might and, whole family hates him thing, like, Endeavor's been pretty shitty to this point. He's got an opportunity to hopefully turn his whole act around.
Yep.
Have you guys ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I have not.
Here and there.
There's a character that has a scar on his eye like that too. It's Prince Zuko. And he's also from the Fire Nation, so I oftentimes think that there's like I don't know, I'm always reminded of him with Todoroki. They've got very similar scars.
I like that his name is Zuko because that makes for our second Grease reference of the episode.
Yeah, his name's Zuko. Prince Zuko. Great show. You should watch it.
Washa, washa, washa. Zuko. All right, so Endeavor, Hawks. I don't know. Jury's out on Hawks then. We don't know if we like him or not. We don't know if we trust him or not.
He's a snake. Yeah, I still think he's a snake. But personally,
I trust him.
Damn.
Yeah? Did you get a weird vibe from him in the last episode or no?
Nah, he was just acting like any normal 22-year-old kid would act, being that powerful.
Exactly.
Yeah,
to me.
And
I forget he's so young.
22-year-old kids, I don't trust any of those motherfuckers. Never mind one that has like a bunch of success, money, and power. I definitely don't trust those. You know what I think of when I think of a 22-year-old with success, money, and power? Martin Shkreli. That fucking piece of shit. That kid owns that goddamn Wu-Tang album. That former bro piece of goddamn garbage who I'd like to kick into the Grand Canyon. If the Grand Canyon had teeth that led to fucking hell, that's when it'd be appropriate.
I'm pretty sure he would still die regardless if the Grand Canyon had teeth or not, Kyle.
Yeah, but if the Grand Canyon had teeth. Yeah, but if the Grand Canyon had teeth and he went to hell, then it'd be way cooler.
I mean, he's going to hell regardless for what he did, so I mean...
Yeah, but let me kick him there.
Okay.
So we got the finishing song. I gotta say, man, ending song for this season, or at least this arc, or second half of the season, however you want to chunk it out. This ending song is kind of unremarkable to me.
Nah, I don't like it. I don't like that part of it either.
It's not a bad song.
I don't like the animated Deku flipping out those words.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I do hate that. I'm like, listen, Deku, I don't care if you got your fucking AirPods in your ears or not. I don't want to hear you or watch you lip syncing along to whatever's going on in your ears. Why did I? Yeah, it's not a bad song to me. It's just a pretty bland song. Like, it's pretty unremarkable one way or the other. But kind of boom. Nailing it with that happy opening song, though. I love this fucking song. Happy times. God knows I need it. Kind of Boom's a good band, man. I listened to a few of their tunes on my super dope J-pop playlist or whatever it's called. You can go check that out on Spotify. We have a lot of Spotify listeners. If you need some quality J-pop music to jive with, see what I did there? J-pop jive, double J's.
Alliteration.
Alliteration. Well, check it out. Super dope J-pop. Preview. All right. Preview for season 5. Deku's asleep. He has a dream. He sees all of the previous holders of One for All.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're all like in a line. Are they like kneeling? It looked like, right? Or am I making that up? They were just there.
It looked like they were just standing.
Yeah.
And they're looking at two men, one in a suit, holding another dude on his knees by the face on the ground. That's got to be All for One and his brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's
Deku's got like this weird
my assumption.
Deku's got like this weird I
like
don't know, like
smoke.
It's almost like you can only see from his nose up, so like he doesn't have a mouth obviously, but he can't communicate, he can't like reach out to help anybody. He's like a shadow basically.
Yeah.
Thinking about
maybe
it,
that's
go for it.
To me it signifies like the amount of One for All that he can actually, withstand. Like,
because part
you
of
only see 20% of his body because he can only withstand 20% of the power.
part of his hand is sticking out. So you can see, and it's his damaged hand that he uses a lot. So it's like his whole body is all smoky except for his, up above his mouth and then part of his hand.
Because the hand does reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it reaches out to the person whose face is getting, it's his brother, right? Like this, I said earlier in the episode, this episode is maybe want to go back and watch a few strings of episodes. I want to go back and rewatch the episode where this whole story of the two brothers and how the quirks started. I want to rewatch those and try to get a little bit more insight. And it's not insight. I mean, I just haven't watched it in a while, really, is what it boils down to. But it's very evident to me that it's all for one and his brother. But his brother is the one who reaches out to Deku, and Deku's like partial hand or whatever, right? And he says, "You're the ninth." Oh, so you're the ninth holder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Did they like shake hands? Is that what it was? Did they touch hands?
Hands like they held hands almost, but not quite, right?
Yeah,
they woke up.
almost like interjoined hands, but then Deku woke up in a cold sweat.
Yeah. And as Deku wakes up, something breaks or thwips through his window.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you can see his hand is like he like activated his power somehow while he was asleep. So maybe it was just like the sheer force of One for All breaking the window.
Ooh, all right.
That's what I thought too, like a power surge.
Is that what you guys thought?
That's what I thought.
Maybe he finger banged the window.
Sounds dangerous. All right, that's a good hypothesis. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting the way that he had this weird ass dream and some whips through the window. So we shall see what happens in season 5 again. As I don't know if we talked about it on the Patreon cut. I think we might have done it on the Patreon cut. But if you want to hear that, patreon.com/DragonBallSuperDope. We're not sure when season 5 is going to premiere. We know that it's been announced for sure. There was no date attached to it. So the tricky thing about trying to figure it out is a couple of things. Season 4 was slated to start in April of 2019. Got delayed for 6 months and started in October of 2019. The thought process is, or word on the street is, having done Heroes Rising, or 2 Heroes, right? No, Heroes Rising, yeah.
Heroes Rising.
It's this,
right.
Why put heroes in both titles of both movies that are for My Hero? The word, no. All right, just fuck. All right, whatever.
It's a hero show, bro.
I get it. For Heroes Rising, the idea is for season 4, because they had to allocate additional animators to Heroes Rising, and they really wanted to take their time and get the overhaul arc right. They delayed it for 6 months and moved it to October. So it went from October until April. End of March is really what it should have been, but we were delayed 1 week due to, I think, a fucking soccer game or something. I don't know. Who cares?
Or a marathon or something like that.
Yeah, good call, Feds. A marathon. So we got delayed by 1 week. So here we are in the beginning of April, wondering when season 5, even though it's been confirmed when it's going to premiere, does it premiere in October and follow last year's schedule, October to April? Word on the street is they're going to try to do a movie every year for the foreseeable future. I don't know how official that is, but I mean, I'm not mad. I'm glad.
I do and I don't.
All right, well, Feds, how do you feel about it? You go, because I've talked about it before. Go.
I like it because both movies have been pretty good. I mean, for all intents and purposes, but I mean, I think it takes away from the quality of the show because they're not able to budget the money properly between the movie and the show.
Exactly. And
so I feel like the animation in the show takes a hit.
Exactly. And not only a hit from a quality perspective, but also a hit from a timing perspective. In the case of season 4, we don't know that it'll be the case in season 5 because, again, we don't know when it's going to premiere. But it could be in October, in which case we're only waiting 6 months, and that's a great set of circumstances. Let's hope that when season 5 premieres, it's like... Never mind. I was about to try to tie it into how long coronavirus could last, but I don't want to fucking think about that right now. So never mind. Let's hope when season 5 does premiere, It's sooner rather than later. If it doesn't premiere in October, you'd have to assume that it would go then in the springtime slot and go from April to October again, like it has done in its previous years, seasons 1, 2, and 3. So jury's out. They did print out the print promotional material and announced that season 5 is confirmed and it's coming, but there was no date attached to it.
They even had at the end of the preview too.
Yeah, to be continued in season 5. They did put out some print thing. I think I retweeted it the other day. If you want to go check it out on Twitter at DBSuperDope1, go see all of that fun stuff. Do you guys have any like hopes or suspicions on where season 5 is going to go? Kelly, I'll start with you. Well, actually, no. I'll start with Feds because Kelly knows more than she should know for a question like that.
I wouldn't mention any of the things I'm not supposed to know.
Exactly, but you'd accidentally probably interlace some of it without really realizing it. So, Feds, I want to start with you.
So I hope like we see more of Deku developing his power for One for All, like him being able to control more of it. That's my biggest hope, is to see him progress the story. Maybe even like a minor time jump, a la Dragon Ball, like 3 years or something like that. Like going
Dude, no, a 3 year
They
jump.
wouldn't even be in school anymore.
Yeah, you are definitely have your
even
brain.
a 2-year jump.
Yeah, no, your brain's living in Dragon Ball. If you do
a
a 2-year jump in My Hero Academia, it's not called My Hero Academia anymore because they're out of fucking high school. All right, no, you're thinking like a 2-week, 2-month. They've done like
summer break,
quote unquote time jumps, but like the time jumps have been sort of nondescript number of months. Like it could be anywhere from like 2 to 6, 2 to 4, 2 to 3 months. Like they're never gonna have a few year time jump. Otherwise, Deku, the next season, Deku will be a fucking intern trying to get his student teaching hours at UA High under Aizawa, a fucking short-haired, pissed-off Aizawa who met a lady who made him get a haircut and give up his stupid scarves. Anyway, what else you got on the horizon for your fucking fanfic, Feds? So many F's in that sentence. Fuck it.
That's a lot of another F, huh?
Throw it on top.
Let's see what else. I hope we find out a lot more about All for One. Like all we know is that he's still captive in that prison, and basically what is he cooking up?
And that tease on the inside with Ragdoll last episode, I think. Yeah. I think there's a good possibility we'll have something with that happen in season 5 for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm hoping.
Kelly, what you got?
Well, so there are some things I'm excited for coming up that you're quite right. I shouldn't know because I am crazy for spoilers. I look up a lot of stuff on the internet.
Get a life.
I might start reading the manga, honestly, because I don't have anything to do.
Me too.
But something that I'm kind of excited about for this next season that I don't really think is a spoiler because it's in the movie, sort of. Can I talk about stuff that was from in the movie? Yeah? No? It's your podcast.
If you haven't seen the movie, fucking spoilers ahead. Fucking hit pause.
At one point, 9 says, like, is this another guy with multiple quirks? So I'm curious about that. If that is something that's actually going to come up in the show, especially because when you see the people in this little preview, when you see all the predecessors, we know for a fact that All Might didn't have a quirk, right? But the other people did, at least from in the preview, it looks like they have powers. One of them's all pink, right? One of them's like all glowy and yellow. So I'm curious to see if we learn more about those people and if those powers do pass on, or if it's just like a super strength type thing that passes on. You know what I mean? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to hypothesize too much because I'm worried I'll give away things, so I don't want to do that. But
I really, really, really hope that Mirio gets his powers back.
Me too.
With Eri staying there with them, I hope that maybe she can work on some control.
In the hero world, elementary school and middle school are pretty much like regular school that we go to, and then high school is like hero, superpower specific kind of stuff. My question, the reason I asked that is because do we see Eri go to some kind of school for next season where she's going to be able to, probably not. It's going to be like independent training with the heroes in the school to hopefully be able to.
Yeah.
Because they
I
do
think
make
so,
a
like
mention
homeschool.
of her horn starting to grow again or starting to swell a little bit or whatever. So they kind of put like start the timer on the next time that she's unable to control that or whatever, unless in the interim she's able to develop the control over it, which probably isn't a given. So I don't know. I want to see more Eerie progressive next year. All right, because I saw her smile, I saw her be happy like a normal little kid. Now I want to see her start to build her skill set and figure out whatever she's going to be, because I saw a few people in some of the fan groups suggest like, oh, maybe she'll be the one to take the power over from Deku. And that was a weird sound, but yeah, maybe. But also maybe that's not the path. Maybe she doesn't want to go and be a hero. But whatever her path does ultimately end up being, I don't think that she's a character that we're just going to cast aside or into the background. At least I hope she's not a character we cast aside and into the background for the rest of the series after this. I hope she continues to remain a central figure. But what does her path start to shape up or start to look like next year? Is it still like I'm a little kid, too early to decide, or does she decide like she wants to go down the hero track, or is there another track out there for her to be able to explore given the immense nature of her power? Maybe she's like Recovery Girl on steroids. You know what I mean?
I have
Maybe.
another question.
Sure.
So do you think that Aizawa is going to be their teacher, like stick with his homeroom through each year? Or do you think each year they get a new teacher?
That is a good question. I would be inclined to think the first one. Otherwise, what's the importance of the such a strong relationship in that first year if you're just going to get
another
class?
group of people?
Yeah.
Right.
I would think
So
that he's
basically,
gonna
you'd
stay
be
with
like
them.
the third year teachers, when all the third years graduate, they would go back down to
Yeah.
the first year.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah.
And that's how I had it in high school too. Not from my sophomore year on, it was like that. And I had fucking Chuck Waddell as my homeroom teacher for 3 years, my sophomore, junior, and it was a blessing and a curse. Like the only reason I graduated and it didn't get like sent to truancy court is because he wasn't very good at taking attendance. We'll keep it at that.
No way.
Yeah. Or like I just show up in the morning and be like, "What's up? I'm here," and then leave. I was not a very good high school student. Yeah, I think that it's like that. I think Aizawa will be with them for the duration of their high school careers. At least I hope so.
Cool.
But more to come in My Hero Academia Season 5. Anything else before we close out Season 4 here? Maybe we'll revisit. I think for the month of April, I wanted, and by that I mean we're in April now, but in a few weeks I would like to do a My Hero Academia pod about a certain student to celebrate a certain day. And I'll talk more with you guys about it offline. If you want to know more about it, patreon.com/DragonBallSuperDip. Go check that out. In the interim, we got to find some other things to pod about. I think me and Feds have got Spider-Man starting up. Me, you. Spider-Man's going to be fun, dude. Spider-Man's going to be like Feds. Mike Norm has got a microphone on the way to his house right now.
It's awesome.
Brandon's down to do it. Like it's gonna be like a true like match. I think Minnie Van Dan will be down. Minnie Van Dan is really mad at me right now because I haven't had him on a video chat since we've been in lockdown. Dan, if you're hearing this, I love you. Don't be mad at me. We'll talk soon. Stop being butthurt, okay, bud? We'll get you on the pod soon. But Spider-Man's coming. I think Kelly and me are gonna start doing some Ghibli. Skip, right?
Only if you want to. You're the one who owns the movies. I don't care.
Do you not have access to them? We can find you access to the movies.
Well, I don't own any of them, and I don't own a DVD player, so I wouldn't be able to watch them. Anywho,
oh, you
and
know
they're
what
not
though?
on. They're not on anything.
They're not on Kiss Anime.
A lot of them. They're not on what?
They're probably on Kiss Anime, but
oh yeah, I could probably watch them online somewhere. Yeah.
But you could watch them online with me through, I don't know, maybe not Twitch, but this live streaming setup I'm trying to get a goddamn handle on. Like, I don't know, guys. It's like 70-30 shot. 30% of the time I get the sound from whatever respective game system I'm trying to use to actually broadcast. The other 70% of the time I can't. And I'm not really sure why in either case, what makes it work or doesn't. It's very, very frustrating. So still working on the Twitch stuff. If you want to go check it out, twitch.tv/superdopepodcasts, I believe is what it is. So check that out. I think I might try to log on tonight and go play some Super Star Wars on a Sunday because S's and alliteration's big. This has been an alliterative episode. But yeah, lots of different things coming in April. We got a nice interview with one of my favorite Dragon Ball content creators coming up in the next, hopefully, few weeks. More to come on that. No formal announcement. I don't want to put a name to it. I think I already put it on the Patreon though. So again, if you want to go check that out there. If you got to the end here, applause for you. Your threshold for bullshit is quite high, and I applaud you again. Rate and subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, all the places where the podcasts live, at DB Superdope1 on Twitter, at DB Superdope on Instagram, no Facebook, because that's for Nazis and old people, right? Nazis and old people.
Yeah, sure.
And that's the end of our podcast episode. Gonna raise my hand with the peace sign. Season 4 is done forever. Do 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 do.